Qatar goes all in. Fat stacks, top players, and a tournament glow-up. Qatar isn't playing around. Literally. The tiny but mighty Gulf nation has decided that if money talks, it should be screaming at the top of its lungs. The country has practically pulled out a golden checkbook and started throwing cash at the ATP Tour, doubling the prize money and making its tournament irresistible to the world's best tennis players. And guess what? It's working like a charm. This year, Qatar has leveled up in a big way, taking its tennis tournament from an ATP 250 event to the much more prestigious ATP 500 category. In simple terms, it just upgraded from economy class to a first-class champagne and caviar experience. With this boost, the Qatar Open has now become one of the most appealing stops on the ATP calendar, attracting the creme de la creme of the tennis world. And the star power? Oh boy, it's stacked. No less than 6 players from the top 10 have already packed their bags for Doha. The lineup includes Jannik Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz, Alex de Minaur, Daniil Medvedev, Novak Djokovic, and Andrei Rublev, aka a group so talented that even Federer might consider coming out of retirement just to watch. Show me the money. Money bag, money bag, money bag. Now let's talk numbers, because Qatar isn't just flexing with big names. They're throwing in a prize pool so juicy it could make any player drool. The tournament champion will now pocket $516,000, which is more than double last year's payout. Translation: if you won in 2024, you basically played for crumbs. The prize jump is a staggering 143% increase, skyrocketing from a mere $212,000 to over $500,000. If that's not an incentive to book a flight to Doha, I don't know what is. With this cash injection, the Qatar Open now ranks among the most financially rewarding ATP 500 tournaments, making it an absolute no-brainer for top players looking to boost their bank accounts while smashing forehands under the Middle Eastern sun. ATP boss and Qatari bigwigs are all smiles, grinning face with big eyes. ATP President Andrea Gaudenzi is absolutely thrilled about the Doha tournament's promotion, calling it a fantastic step forward for players and an even better experience for the fans. Meanwhile, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, head of the Qatar Tennis Federation, QTF, is basically doing victory laps. We have always aimed to take our tournament to the next level, and today, we've done exactly that. We are grateful to the ATP for trusting us and allowing us to make this leap forward, Al-Khelaifi said, while probably sipping tea in a gold-plated lounge. And let's not forget, Qatar has been on a relentless sports shopping spree, spending billions to cement its place in the global sports landscape. Their public investment fund, PIF, yes, the same money machine behind Saudi Arabia's sports takeovers, has officially become an ATP and WTA sponsor. That means their logo is now plastered on courts worldwide, from ATP finals to the most glamorous WTA tournaments. The Middle East's tennis takeover continues. This is just the latest power move by the region, which has been aggressively positioning itself as the new epicenter of elite tennis. Saudi Arabia recently organized exhibition matches featuring the Six Kings Slam, an exclusive mini-tournament gathering the 6 biggest names in the sport. Meanwhile, Carlos Alcaraz arrives in Qatar in top form, fresh off his first title of 2025 in Rotterdam. The young Spaniard conquered his first indoor championship, proving that he's just as lethal on hard courts as he is on clay. So, what's the bottom line? Tennis in Qatar is no longer just an event. It's a full-blown spectacle with A-list stars, fat paychecks, and a Middle Eastern glow-up that shows no signs of slowing down. If you're not watching, you're missing out. Carlos Alcaraz has finally checked off the last missing box in his list of achievements. He had already proven his dominance on clay, his adaptability on grass, and his ability to win on outdoor hard courts, but one thing was still missing: an indoor title. That gap has now been filled with his recent victory in Rotterdam, marking his first-ever triumph on an indoor hard court. At just 21 years and 9 months old, he has now secured titles on every possible surface faster than any of the legendary Big Three. Rafael Nadal needed until he was 22 to win his first title on grass at Queen's in 2008. Roger Federer completed the set at 21 years and 10 months after winning in Halle in 2003. Novak Djokovic had to wait until he was 24 when he won Wimbledon in 2011. Alcaraz, however, has already done it before turning 22, putting himself ahead of some of the greatest names in history. Alongside Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner, he remains one of the most dominant forces on the ATP Tour. Their clashes have become some of the most anticipated matches in tennis, and the rivalry between them is shaping the future of the sport. With Sinner currently on an incredible run, having won 36 of his last 37 matches on hard courts, Alcaraz remains the only player to have stopped him in that stretch, winning their encounter in Beijing. Their battle for the #1 ranking is intensifying, and every tournament they play feels like another chapter in an unfolding saga. Andy Murray has recently joined Djokovic's team as a temporary advisor, bringing a new perspective to the Serbian's game. Having faced Novak countless times on tour, Murray has unique insight into what makes him a nightmare opponent. Rather than pointing out mistakes, Murray focuses on reminding Djokovic of the aspects of his game that used to make him nearly unbeatable. He admits to spending hours locked in his room, obsessing over match footage and analyzing every tiny detail to help Djokovic refine his game. Despite being new to coaching, Murray's personal experience competing against Djokovic gives him an unparalleled advantage in understanding what works and what doesn't. Meanwhile, Juan Carlos Ferrero has been open about the areas Alcaraz still needs to improve. While his talent is undeniable, there are still gaps in his mental game and consistency. Winning in Rotterdam was not just another trophy. It was proof that Alcaraz is evolving, learning, and adapting. His decision to focus on hard courts instead of playing the South American clay court swing has already paid off, as he closed the ranking gap between himself and Sinner. With Indian Wells and Miami coming up, he is positioning himself for a strong push toward reclaiming the #1 spot. Alcaraz's ability to adapt to different conditions continues to impress. Indoor hard courts demand precision, consistency, and mental strength, eliminating external factors like wind and sun. This surface rewards players with a sharp baseline game and the ability to generate their own pace, qualities that Alcaraz has developed over the years. While he still has room to grow in these conditions, his performance in Rotterdam suggests that he is learning how to thrive in all environments. With each new victory, Alcaraz is not just making history. He is redefining what the future of tennis looks like. He is proving that he is not just a rising star, but a player who is ready to take over and dominate the sport for years to come. His latest triumph in Rotterdam isn't just another shiny piece of hardware for his trophy case. It's a loud and clear statement that he's not here to play around. It's proof of his relentless drive for improvement and his uncanny ability to tweak, refine, and evolve his game to fit any damn conditions thrown at him. Winning an indoor title before turning 22? That's something not even Djokovic, Nadal, or Federer managed to pull off. That fact alone screams versatility, adaptability, and an ironclad determination to dominate wherever he steps foot. If anyone thought hard courts were Sinner's playground, Alcaraz just kicked the door in and made himself at home. He's not just content being a contender. He's on a mission to expand his arsenal, sharpen his strengths, and ensure that no matter the surface, he's always a top-tier threat. He's not handing over the crown to anyone without a fight, and if someone wants it, they're going to have to rip it from his hands. As the tour evolves, Alcaraz is proving to be one of the most complete players out there, constantly pushing himself physically, mentally, and strategically. His ground strokes? Explosive as hell. His court IQ? Sharper than ever. His work ethic? Absolutely relentless. The guy doesn't just show up. He grinds, adapts, and finds ways to break through. But what truly separates him from the rest isn't just his physical gifts, it's his unshakable competitive fire and his insatiable hunger for success. This Rotterdam victory isn't just about adding another title to his name. It's a turning point, a clear sign that he's evolving into an even deadlier version of himself. One who doesn't just compete with the best but is ready to dethrone them one by one. Now that he's checked off the last missing piece in his resume, there's zero doubt about his credentials. He's conquered every surface, mastered multiple styles of play, and repeatedly shown that when the stakes are high, he doesn't flinch, he thrives. Every new milestone cements his place at the pinnacle of the sport, making it painfully clear that he's not just a rising star anymore. He's already a dominant force shaping the present and future of tennis. And hey, if you had a blast watching this breakdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a like. Here at Tennis Zone, we're all about bringing you the sharpest analysis, exclusive interviews, and in-depth coverage of everything happening in the tennis world. You won't want to miss what's coming next.